Look, I can't wash my hands.
People in Jackson, Mississippi are being told to shower with their mouths closed because they don't have access to clean water.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
So what do racism and profit-based interests have to do with a crisis like this? For starters, when water infrastructure was first being built in the US, only the rich could afford to get it. Running water utilities is still a money-making business 200 years later. You see, even though most water systems are owned by local governments, private companies are usually doing the work to treat, repair, and maintain them. In Jackson, that contractor was a company called Siemens. It turned out to be such a bad deal for the city that Jackson won a nearly $90 million settlement over Siemens' botched work.
We've been going it alone for the better part of 2 years, and we look forward to a coalition of the willing that will join us in the fight to improve this system that has been failing.
1 week ago today, I stood on this podium and I told you that the state was going to take historic and unprecedented steps to intervene in Jackson's water system because it had reached a crisis level.
A line stretching as far as the eye can see of people in Jackson, Mississippi tonight, waiting for water that's safe to drink.
Hey, how you doing? What do you want?
The irony of it, too much water along Jackson's Pearl River after a storm contributed to the collapse of the city's aging water system.
Water is not safe to drink, and I would even say it's not safe to brush your teeth with.
It is almost every family for themselves in the search for water. There's almost nothing in the stores, and at the water giveaways across this city, they are running in line here.
About 2.5 hours.
Now there's a state of emergency affecting as many as 180,000 water system in the state's largest city has been in crisis for years. Jackson has been under a boil water advisory for a month and went an entire month without clean water last year.
When Mississippi was finally forced to desegregate schools in 1970, white people left for the suburbs and took tax revenue with them. Today, you've got a city that is largely black, with a quarter of people living in poverty, and a crumbling water service that's been neglected for years. What the city of Jackson's mayor has to say about it.
This is a set of accumulated problems based on deferred maintenance that has not taken place.
The National Guard has been called in to help get bottled water to those in need. And it's not just drinking water. Low water pressure means people are unable to shower or flush their toilets.
Tonight, the people who call Jackson home are paying the price.
It affects quality of life, especially for someone like me. I have major health problems.
Schools are now impacted, and officials say they don't know how long the crisis will last.
Now to the state of emergency in Jackson, Mississippi. The governor activating the National Guard to help with the water crisis that has left more than 100,000 people in the state's biggest city without running water.
Desperate residents now on the hunt for water to drink and cook with.
They are moving cars through here quickly. It's just one case per car. They say they have enough for 600 cars, but by the looks of the line, it runs for several miles. Businesses have been forced to close, and Jackson Public Schools have gone to remote learning indefinitely because there is no running water in the schools.
They're saying they might get a case of water. They're hoping they get more than that, but even that, they're not sure how long it's going to last.
Not only were there issues with the quality of the water, there were issues with the quantity of water. The city could not produce enough running water for Jacksonians. Today, some 7 days later, I'm very happy to report that we have returned water pressure to the city. The tanks are full or filling. There are currently 0 water tanks at low levels. We are resuming investigative testing. After the bad water has been flushed through the system, we should hopefully find that Jacksonians have access not only to the quantity of waters needed to keep pressure in the system, but also that Jacksonians shall have access to clean water. Health officials tell me this morning that the plant is pumping out cleaner water than we've seen for a very, very long time. We know that it is always possible that there will be more severe challenges. This system broke over several years, and it would be inaccurate to claim it is totally solved in a matter of less than know how to respond to crisis, and we know how to do so effectively. We have the personnel in place today to prevent as many issues as possible, while understanding that a week of repairs does not eliminate each and every risk. There may be more bad days,